Hi and welcome back to part 8 of my Scratch tutorial on creating a scrolling platformer. Now today we're going to look at vertical scrolling. So this is level 2, which is in the final version of the software. And you'll notice as we jump up here we're able to move up the level. Now that we can't do at the moment in the current version that we've worked on so far. So this is what we're going to look at now. So let me just close this and we'll go back to where we left off last time. So where we left it last time, we can scroll left and right. I'll just quickly go off the end of this level. And you'll see that we have our next level coming, which is great, but absolutely no movement up and down. So let's first of all just tidy up the project just to get us before we start doing anything new. Let's get rid of this collect max because we don't need to see that anymore. So in variables, we can just get rid of that by clicking the box there. And also on the start of this level, we've still got this little bit of lava left over from when we were testing. Let's just tidy that up as well by going into danger and level 1. And let's just remove both those bits of lava with the delete key like that. And that's good. We're now ready to get going. So first of all, let's make it so, and when we're playing this game, what we can do at the moment, you can walk left and right. Let's stop us from walking too far to the left. So if you go into the scripts of player 1, into the tick custom block, and we scroll down to the part where we're doing the scrolling, we've got the set scroll X here. All we need to do is say that we don't want scroll X to be less than 0, because 0 is where we're starting here, where the screen starts at scroll 0. And you can simply do that by adding in an if statement after we set the scroll, just there, like that. And we compare using a less than operator. And we need the variable scroll X on the left-hand side and 0 on the right. So we set the scroll to be the position of the player and then check to see whether it's moved less than 0. And if it has, what we need to do is set it back to 0 again. This is the effect of never letting scroll X go less than 0. So if it sets the scroll X to less than 0, it then compares it, and then we'll move it back to 0 again. If it's bigger than 0, it just lets it be. So that alone should mean that now we can scroll right, but if we go left, it stops scrolling. See that? Isn't that neat? Really easy. Okay. So let's work on movement in the up direction. To do that, let's move on to level 2, because level 2 is going to be the one that lets us do the up and down movement. So, or to do that quickly, in our, when we start this game, the play game receiver, set level to 2 to start with, and that means when we start our game, we'll be starting on level 2. See, that makes life easy to test. So, let's put a little bit of height in this level first, just so we can test it. So go into the costumes of platforms, and let's just add in another bit of platform. We can use copy and paste on this just to quickly duplicate it like that and put it a bit higher up. We'll make it smaller. Okay, so there's something for us to jump onto. Hopefully we can reach that. Let's just give that a quick go to make sure we can. Oh, no, too high. Let's lower it down a bit. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and now let's make another one a little bit higher up again. Like that. Okay, so now you see we're getting to the top of the screen now, but we're not scrolling. Okay, so back to the code. And this is in, again, the player sprite in the tick, just where we had the other scrolling instructions. So the simplest way of doing it is simply to have another set just before the position down here, set scroll Y to the Y position of the character. Pretty obvious, really. Let's give it a go. There we go. Already it scrolls both directions, but you didn't know it was that easy, did you? Or maybe you did. Maybe you tried it. If you did, good for you. Now, that's great, but the problem with jumping is that it means that the screen is going to be bouncing up and down, up and down, up and down all the time. And that's a little bit irritating for the user, and they might get a bit dizzy after playing it too long. So it'd be better if we were able to not bounce the screen around quite so much. And for that, you need smooth scrolling. And what that means is it doesn't just suddenly jump exactly to where the player is moving to. The screen will scroll slightly behind the player, kind of averaging out his movement. Now to do this, we can just change the way our set scroll Y works. Okay, so stop the game now. So a little bit of information first. At the moment, we're setting scroll Y to Y. Now, if we were to instead use a change scroll Y in here, instead of the set, okay. Now, if we scroll it, change it by 1, of course, we run the game, it's going to slowly, smoothly scroll up the screen because we're changing the scroll the whole time. Okay, but that's not what we want to do. What we want to change the Y by is the amount that it will take to get us to where the player is now. Now, to do that, you need to know the distance between the player and the current scrolling position. Now, to do that, it's quite easy. All you need is the position that you want it to scroll to, which is the current player position, take away the position of the scroll at the moment. So if we're scrolling at the moment was at the middle of the screen at 0, and we were 100 higher, we want to change the scroll by 100 to get to where the player is now. So 100 is where it is now, scrolls at 0, 100 take away 0 is 100. So if we change scroll by 100, we will actually get back to where we're meant to be. So if we run that now, we get exactly the same as setting scroll Y to the player position. So that's no different, but it sets us up to do smooth scrolling because rather than saying we want to move by the whole distance between the player and the current scroll position, we want to say we want to move it a bit of the distance. And that can be done with division or multiplication, you can choose. If we use division, it'll be easier to understand. So we want to move by the distance between the player and the scroll, but we want to do it over 10 game frames. So if we run that now and watch it, right, see how the scrolling up is now slower than the player jumping. So the player can jump, and it's not such a harsh jump on the user. It's not flicking around all over the place. Now, one more change I would suggest we do is rather than just allowing us to be moving by this amount divided by 10, the problem we have here is if we're dividing by 10, our numbers are no longer going to be whole numbers, are not going to be 1, 2, 3, they're going to be 1.2, 1.7. And when you're positioning sprites in Scratch, it's better to keep them rounded to the nearest whole number. So I would advise using this round and putting that around the entire change scroll like that. So we're changing it by the rounded value of the distance between the player and the scroll divided by 10. And that just keeps things all nice and level. It will help with the collision detection and various things like that. I'm not entirely sure how relevant that is in Scratch 3. It might be better in Scratch 3 than 2, but in 2 we definitely needed to do that. So I would suggest doing that now anyway. Okay, next thing then. Now that we can scroll up and down, what about when we fall off the edge? Because you don't want to really see yourself die like that because you're no longer touching the bottom. So what we can do here is stop the player, this level, from scrolling down any further than the starting position, just like we did for moving too far left. So again, in the tick custom block, just before we do the position, let's add in another if, just like this one, like this. And this time we'll check scroll Y being less than 0. And if it is, set scroll Y to 0. You get that? So if I just try that again, that should mean now if I fall off, it doesn't scroll down, but it does scroll up. And that's really nice. Now, smooth scrolling, you could of course do the same smooth scrolling on the left and right as well. At the moment, it perfectly scrolls after my character, but you could, if you wanted, instead of having this set scroll X to X, you could do a change scroll X by round of x, take away scroll x, divided by 10, or by another number. The bigger this number, the longer it takes the screen to catch up. The smaller this number, the more it'll be just stuck to the player. So that's up to you. In this particular game, I quite like it being stuck in the middle, so I'm going to leave it like that, but you can choose to try that out if you like. So what does that leave for this tutorial? Not much really. All that I really want to do is actually build upon this level and make it a bigger level. So why not have some fun changing the costumes and adding some more to this level? So let's have a look. So that's in the platforms, in the costumes. Let's just stop this now. Let's change this level a little bit. So we've already started to build up this little jumping thing. So why not? Let's just stay with that, shall we? But let's add in a next part. So let's duplicate this sprite. And we're going to build up above this level here. So to do that, we're going to have to pretend that we're down here and we're jumping up from below. So we've just got to this one here, which was going to be around here-ish. So let's make him jump maybe to the left to a platform down here, like this. And then back maybe a bit further, jump to here. Okay, let's just give that a go. So let's see what we need to do. So this is level 2, which is great. The numbering is all nicely in line with how we're wanting to do it. So in the platforms scripts, if we move down to where we're starting level 2 in the setup, what we need is one of these clone blocks to create the second part of the level above the last one. So for that to work, we have to position it at 0, which means we're not moving across, and then this one here is for moving up. So let's move it up by, I'm not quite sure what to do at the moment, so let's just choose a number like 200 and just see what happens. Okay, let's run that. Okay, it was not anywhere near enough, so it's actually still quite low down. So let's move it up. Let's try 400, run that. Okay, better. Bit too high now, so let's move it down a little bit more. Let's try 350. Okay, that's more like it. And look, with this jump here, we could actually afford to make it quite a bit further. We can jump quite far there. So let's just tweak that level and move it further across like that. Let's add a little bit more level on then. So let's duplicate this costume. So now let's make a bit to the right of this. Let's have a circle to jump onto. Okay, and I'll just delete these. This level's really very white, isn't it? We can do something about that later on. Just copy and paste these circles. Now actually, what I really want is some danger on these levels, so things that can kill you. Let's add in a big, nasty red lava, like so, inside these ones. And I'm going to multi-select these, holding Shift, and fill them in white as well. And then move them to the front. Okay, so let's position this on our game now. So we're going to put it here to the right of the other sprites in this level. So go into the code, I'll duplicate that, and I want it to be to the right of this. So I'll move it along by, I'll do 360 just to see how that works. I don't want it to be any higher. So let's just run that to see what happens. Okay. It's not bad. I'd actually prefer it to be a bit more to the right. So let's just tweak that and add in 450, do I say? Ah, yes. Good. Now, at the moment, of course, we will not die on the red because we changed our scripts so that our red parts have to be in danger. So let's just fix that. So if we go into the costumes, first of all, what have we got in danger? Let's just check. Level 2-1. So we've got that bit. We need this bit. And we need this new bit as well, both to go into there. So we've got the same sprites, but we can clear this bit because we don't want this bit of level to be dangerous. So delete that. And in this sprite, we want to remove the white parts, leaving the danger. Okay, and then go back into your platforms and remove the red bit. Okay, and now once we've deleted that, go into your code and we need to duplicate the level cloning from level 2 into the danger 2. So just drag that part of the cloning into the danger, and this needs to move in to level 2 to be exactly the same positions. So that now when we play the game, we should find that the danger is there again, and now we can die in it. Great. Now I'm noticing that we are starting up here. That's curious, isn't it? Let's play it again. Now why is that? Are we not setting our scroll X at the beginning of the game? Scroll Y, sorry. Let's see, where's the race set? So we're setting... We really aren't. That's bad. Okay, we need to fix that. We need to set our scroll X and scroll Y at the beginning here in game on. Otherwise, the game will not start in the right position. So set scroll X and set scroll Y to 0, just here. Now, when we die, it repositions us at the start of the level. So the only thing left to do is to put the exit, this exit here, at the end. Oh, not the only thing. Well, one thing to do, we've also got to do the collectibles too. We've got to get the exit to be here at the end of the game. So how do we do that? Do you remember? You put your mouse where you want it to be while the game is running, and you press M. It gives us the position that we need to set it to. Click into exit, and in the level 2 part, which is this one, we need to enter in that number. So 744 by 478. 478. Okay, hide the mouse. Just check that that's positioned correctly. Yep, there it is. And so one more thing to do is adding some more nice collectibles to get whilst you're playing the game. So let's just start the level again, and we'll put in some collectibles. So let's put one in over here on the left. So where's our collectibles sprite? There it is. So let's duplicate this level part into the second part of the if and get rid of that. So if level equals 2, we want to add a dot at minus 116 by 14. And then we'll have another collectible here. We're not running anymore. Here, M, which is 137 by 68. Okay. And we'll have a collectible here, which is minus 6 by 149. Collectible here, minus 128 by 228. And we'll put one here, which is 109 by 303. Okay, let's give that a go. Okay, what I'm going to do now is just add on for a level 3, just so that when it gets to the end of this level, we'll be able to see it progress on to the next level. So in your platform costumes, simply duplicate the first level. It's a good idea. Let's just pop that right down to the bottom if I can. How do I do that? There we go, like that. And it's going to be level 3, space 1. So let's just put some text in at the top here saying the end, question mark, like that. Okay. And in the code, let's make sure that we have we don't need anything, so let's just switch the costume in the last else to be level 3.1. And I think. If we just check danger, got to be careful. If we don't change costume, we'll end up being the last costume we have, which is not a good idea. So again, let's create a costume 3, 1, like so, and we'll switch to that costume at the end. Collectibles, we're fine. Exit. At the moment, we haven't got the right level 2 checks. Let's add that in too. So that just means having another if in here. In Scratch 3, I cannot get it there. See, I cannot get it into that top bit, so I'll have to just move it aside and pop it in like that. Okay, that's better. So checking for level 2, doing that. And at the end, so let's just set the X to be far away. So set X to minus 99999. Okay, so that'll just pop the portal far off the screen. So that should mean we can get now to the, let's just make sure we collect all of the stars. Go to the end. Let's complete it and see if we go on to level 3. Almost, except for we got a constant death loop. We must have forgotten something in danger. We're changing to level 3-1. Oh, yep, I did. I did not delete the danger from level 3-1. Here it is. Delete that. There, the end. Good, not dying at the end. Perfect. So now all we need to do is go back to the code in the play game, start us off on level 1 by setting level to 1. And when we run it now, back to level 1, and we should have a complete run through of the levels that we just created with a nice vertical scrolling implemented. Oops. Oh, excellent. Like this, into the exit, and the end, question mark. Who knows? Let's see what happens in next time's tutorial. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye now.